Well, today's project is a beer caddy, and this is actually for my stepson. He actually brews his own beer, so I decided to make him a beer caddy for the beer that he brews, and we'll see that coming up next. Okay, with the Memorial Day weekend coming up, we obviously have a couple parties, and I've got my son with me this weekend, and we're going over to my stepson's tomorrow to enjoy a party with him, and he makes his own beer. So I've got this 2x4 sheet of half-inch birch that I'm going to make a beer carrier out of. I only need to use half of it, and I'm going to engrave it. This is the first time I've done it, make a beer carrier with an engravement. So let's see what happens. As we can see here, we've got the 6 holes for the bottom plate of the beer holder cut out, and it looks pretty cool. On to the next step. Okay, now I know these don't look like much right here, but these are actually the inserts for the different layers that are going in this. So on to the next part. Okay, the one side's cut out, and now they cut out the second side. Well, that's the other side. So I have a right and a left side cut out, and now we're going to cut out the handle. Well, as you can see, not everything goes to plan, but I got a good groove cut in my little bench there. So I'll have to redo that handle after I get everything else done. Well, at least the keys got there. A little popped out here. Makes them a little bit easier to get out though. Okay, just to show you that not everything goes as planned, I forgot to calculate the upper holes for the bottles to stick through on the top plate. And in the process of cutting this piece snapped away, so I had to clamp it down. So I'm hoping, and of all things, I lost my sensor, so I had to reboot. So I'm hoping that these holes are going to be cut out in alignment with the ones for the bottom plate. If not, I'm going to have to recut this as well as the handle. Okay, I got the holes cut out. They kind of look like they match up the other ones. I was holding my breath through this entire thing, and I'll still continue it until I'm able to actually assemble this. Now to cut the bottom piece. Okay, apparently we have an issue here. I lost my 0, and it was going to miscut this place, so I'm going to have to cut this off. I could salvage this and those 2 pieces there. Those 2 pieces have a further job of actually V-carving on the flip side, but I'll have to recut this and the handle. This is the most nerve-wracking of the project of all things. I'm still going to have to cut the bottom plate and the handle and hope that the middle plate or the top plate lines up with the bottom plate. If it doesn't, I'll make adjustments. But here is where I'm actually going to be V-carving in the name, and that is going to be the hectic, because I had to flip this whole board over, change bits, realign, and hopefully we've got it together. Okay, so the first one came out beautiful, but unfortunately this one, because it broke when I was flipping it over, it moved and was moving the lettering, so I'm going to have to recut this. So the only ones I got salvageable is this, and then that's still shaky, and those 2 pieces. Okay, take 2 on the beer tray. I'm hanging a little bit over my wasteboard. You can see it right there. But here is my final line right here. But it's take 2. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we can see that we've got the base done and the top plate done. I learned that if you get those holes done first, then you can cut that out without too much of a headache. So now we're on to creating the rest of it. Well, there we have it. They're all cut out. So all we need to do is on the flip side of those 2, route the name, cut everything out, sand it up, paint it, stain it, put it together. We're good to go. Well, there she is, just all sitting there cut out a little bit. And I got the lettering done, which I'm really happy with how that came out. So now all we have to do is cut out the individual pieces. You can see one of them already broke out while it was getting done, but at least we got them all together. Next stop, cut them out. Now this is just a cursory pass to clean up the edges and a little bit of the inside. We're currently installing the drum sander here. And that's the base right there. These bottoms are a little bit too small for a standard bottle of beer, but it's close enough. At least the top piece will fit over there quite nice. Okay. I'm really happy with how the sides came out. We just need to clean them up a little bit, sand them down, and then from that point paint the lettering and then sand that down. Here's the handle, and of course that's just standing by waiting for the oscillator, the drum oscillator fan, to go at it. Here is the pegs that we did. They're already nicely sanded. I took them on the belt sander that I have, the stationary one. So all in all, it's looking good. And of course, these are future projects right here. There's the beer carrier. And slightly cattywampus. That was because during glue up process, I realized I forgot to put the handle on. So I had to take it apart, which screwed up all my measurements here. But that's okay. That's not a bad job for the first one. And the nice thing about it is, it actually holds the beer. Up. Came out quite nice being the first time I did it, and unfortunately I had to use the entire 2x4 sheet of plywood because of the first miscut on the first attempt. So this was actually my second attempt, and now that I know what I'm doing, it's going to be a lot better. A little bit cattywampus there happened during glue up because I forgot to put the handle in, so I had to disassemble it and put the handle in and then reassemble it. So when I went to go clamp it, I wasn't paying attention, and it's a little bit cattywampus. But these are available for $35 if you would like to get them, and just you can contact me on Facebook or contact me through Etsy.com underneath EMR Gifts.